Welcome back to Play Action Fantasy Football. This is Jonathan here. We're going over our Week 9 running back rankings, and it's going to be a good one. So why don't you guys like and subscribe real quick? And as we get started, we're going to go ahead and our number one guy, actually, Christian McCaffrey, he's been number one every single week. He's obviously going to be on a bye this week, so don't have to worry about him. But let's get started. We got number one, Alvin Kamara at home against the Chicago Bears. Chicago Bears defense is very bad. They give up a lot of points to running back, so I do see Alvin Kamara putting up the most points again this week. And then right behind him, Jonathan Taylor there at number 2 at Carolina. They actually have a worse run defense fantasy-wise. So I got to put Jonathan Taylor up there. Zach Moss is actually kind of stepping down a little bit as Jonathan Taylor comes back off his injury and doing what Jonathan Taylor does. So Jonathan Taylor is easy number 2 this week. He's going to get a hell of amount of points. Number 3, Austin Eckler at New York Jets. They're another team. It's a good matchup for him. Bad run defense. Austin Eckler is going to catch a lot of passes, get the ball a lot running. He's going to be putting up points. Number 4, Joe Mixon at home against Buffalo. This is another one where Mixon, he's kind of been inconsistent this year, but the past couple weeks he's shown up and shown out. So I think at home against Buffalo, it's going to be another good matchup for him, as Buffalo is really only about number 22 against running backs in fantasy. So look for Mixon to get a lot of points for sure. Breece Hall, ever since Aaron Rodgers has gone away, it seems like Hall has stepped up a lot. He's a good young running back. He gets a lot of points, and the offense really relies on him. So I do see Hall against the Chargers, who They give up a lot of points. They like to score. So look for it to be a little shootout there. So look for Breece Hall to have a great day and put up a good amount of points. Which brings me to number 6, Josh Jacobs at home against the Giants. Again, we do record on Mondays, so the Monday night game hasn't happened yet with the Raiders at the Detroit Lions. So we'll see how that plays out. But I still think either way, as long as Jacobs doesn't suffer any injuries or anything like that, he's going to be number 6 at home against the Giants. Giants have not such a great defense, and I see Josh Jacobs just growing and growing as a better running back. So I see him catching the ball a lot. Jimmy G is back. The offense is going to be back into a good flow, and so look for him to get a lot of points. Number 7, DeAndre Swift at home against Dallas. This is a good NFC East matchup rivalry. It's going to be a lot of running, a little short passes, and DeAndre Swift is a part of that. So I do see DeAndre Swift putting up a good amount of points against a good Dallas defense. And in the same game, number 8, Tony Pollard at Philadelphia. Philadelphia is number 1 against running backs, so it's going to be hard for Pollard to get, Pollard points. He usually puts up a lot. He's usually putting up 20, 25 points. He may or may not get that this week, but he's still going to get points as the offense uses him quite a bit. And with that note being said, that's the same thing with Saquon Barkley. They like to pass to him, run with him. The whole offense is really around Saquon Barkley. So at Las Vegas, number 9, Saquon Barkley. Vegas is struggling, especially against running backs, so Barkley's going to have a good day. Expect that. Number 10, Derrick Henry at Pittsburgh. It's a good matchup for Derrick Henry. I think he's kind of waiting for one of those breakout games this year. His offense hasn't been producing much, but I do think at Pittsburgh it's going to be a very good matchup for him, so look for him there at number 10. Number 11, Kenneth Walker. He's going to be at Baltimore. Baltimore's got a okay defense, not a very good defense, not a bad defense. And so I look for Walker there at number 11. He hasn't been doing quite as good against a good defense against the Browns last week and his other matchup the week before. But he is still a top 10 running back in my mind. So I do think Walker's a solid there at number 11. Number 12, Isaiah Pacheco. The past couple weeks, he has not looked very promising, neither has Patrick Mahomes. However, he started off very hot, and they're going to be against, technically at home, but they're going to be in Germany at 9:30 against Miami. And Miami, as everybody knows, scores a lot of points and gives up a lot of points. So look for Pacheco to bounce back and kind of show what he can do, because he's a very talented running back, and I think this is a good matchup for him there in Germany. And speaking of Germany, I got the next guy up there, Raheem Mostert, technically at Kansas City, going to be in Germany. and they're going to be going against the Kansas City Chiefs, who has a very good defense against the run. However, Mostert, he does what he does. As I just got done saying, Miami has a very good offense. So look for Pacheco and Mostert to be right head-to-head with each other. And I know I put Pacheco ahead, but don't be surprised if Mostert has more than him, and don't be surprised if Pacheco has more than Mostert. So it's going to be a close matchup with those two, and I would look forward to that there at 9:30 in the morning on Sunday. And number 14, we're going to Rachaad White at Houston. This was a tough one for me. I think he actually has a very good game this week. Houston's a good matchup for him. They're with Tampa Bay and Houston. They're both teams that are struggling a lot. I think they're going to lean a little more on Rachaad White than they have in the past against Houston, just as Houston's defense gives up a little more to the run than they do the pass. So I think Rachaad White has a good matchup this week, and look for him right there at number 14. Number 15, Ramondre Stevenson at home against Washington. That was another tough one, I'm not going to lie. Washington's kind of looking a little bit better. They had a good game last week, but Stevenson at the same time, he puts up numbers for the Patriots. He's their lead back. He gets a lot of the usage, so it's hard not to put him up there in the top 20. So look for him there at number 15. Number 16 and 17, I'm just going to cover these at the exact same time. I have Jerome Ford and Kareem Hunt, 16 and 17, interchangeable if you would like to say. But they're both going to be at home. They both play for the Browns at home against the Arizona Cardinals, who are actually number 30 against running backs in fantasy. So they're not looking very good at all. And Jerome Ford and Kareem Hunt, both very good running backs. They use both of them a lot, honestly. Jerome Ford, he was dealing with the injury last week, but he should be good for sure this week. I think he's going to get a lot of those run carries, maybe get in the end zone. And Kareem Hunt, he catches the ball out of the back a ton. He runs the ball as well, especially in the red zone, and he runs hard. So they're interchangeable. They're both going to be putting up points for sure this week, right there at number 16 and 17. Number 18, I'm going with Alexander Mattison. Without Kirk Cousins, it's going to be hard for Mattison not to get a lot of points. Maybe he might not catch quite as much passes as he was before, but he's certainly going to be running the ball, and in the red zone, they're going to be looking for him. So right there at number 18, I think Madison's a solid pick. He's going up against Atlanta, which is a very good defense, especially against a run. So I wouldn't expect him to do amazing, but I do think he gets more than people might think. Number 19, Aaron Jones. He's going to be at home against the Rams. The Rams have a very good run defense. Aaron Jones playing for the Packers. I mean, at some point, they're going to have to start leaning on him more as he's the leader of the team. He's been there the longest. With Jordan Love back there, I'm not too confident in him, or A.J. Dillon. So Aaron Jones obviously gets a lot of those touches, and look for him to get points this week. And number 20, Bijan Robinson. He's at home against Minnesota. Bijan Robinson started off the season very well. He's kind of dropped off a little bit, as Atlanta has. But I do think this could be a week where he gets some points, but don't expect too much from him. He's a very good RB2, maybe a flex position, but don't expect too much from him, as Minnesota is one of the better run defenses. Number 21, we're going to go to Darrell Henderson. He's the new one to the list. I don't think he's been in our top 25 yet, but he is this week, as the Rams are dealing with a lot of injuries there, and he's kind of stepped up, and I've always had faith in him. He can catch passes. He's a strong runner. So against Green Bay, who gives up a lot of points, I think Henderson is a good pick there at number 21. Number 22, we're going back to New England. Ezekiel Elliott at home against Washington. This is another game where Ezekiel has a chance to get some points. He's a solid backup right now. Obviously, he can run the ball, but they obviously like Ramondre Stevenson a little bit better. So Elliott, he's going to get some points. I wouldn't expect too much. He's right there at number 22. Number 23, we're going to Miles Sanders at home against Indianapolis. This is a great matchup for him. I don't have a lot of faith in the Panthers right now. That's why he's down there at number 23, but he's definitely got a chance to have a good week against Indianapolis. Number 24, Brian Robinson at New England. New England's been playing better and better, and Brian Robinson has been playing worse and worse. He's a very talented running back. He's their number one. They do use him, but I don't see him getting a lot of points there in New England this week. So Brian Robinson's going to be down there at number 24. And then last but not least, I'm going to go down to Houston they're going to be at home against Tampa Bay. And Tampa Bay, very good run defense. Dameon Pierce, he's going to be very mediocre this week. I think he puts up points, but nothing special at all. So be careful there. He's going to be down there at number 25. And that will do it for Play Action Fantasy Football today. We just went over our Week 9 running back rankings. I hope you guys enjoyed. Why don't you guys go like, subscribe, go comment. Let us know what you think. We want to hear from you, what you think about our picks. And have a great weekend.